So hi everyone, welcome to our educational video on the life cycle assessment and the product environmental footprint. So today we will explore these methodologies and their importance in evaluating the environmental impacts of apparel products. So let's dive in. The life cycle assessment, or LCA, is a standardized methodology used to assess the environmental impacts associated with different stages of a product system's life cycle. This can include analyzing the resources used in production, the energy consumed during use, and the waste generated during the end-of-life treatment. Conducting an LCA involves 4 steps. First, defining the objectives and the scope of the study, then the life cycle step inventory (LCI), the impacts assessment, and finally interpreting the results. So, during the life cycle step inventory, at each life cycle stages, the inputs and outputs flows of the product or systems are inventoried. Inputs and/or outputs such as energy consumption, water consumption, and emission to air, soil, and water are considered in order to convert them in the next step into several environmental impacts. So it is at this stage that the scope of the study, the cutoff, the allocation rules, as well as the various collection methods chosen are specified. Now, you might be wondering what's the difference between PEF and LCA. PEF stands for Product Environmental Footprint. It allows the same standardized approach than the LCA method, but provides a very guided methodology. There is no misunderstanding regarding the gap between two results, as everyone used the same exact methodology, same cutoff, allocation rules, impact assessment methods, and database. PEF provides a unique and comparable score for environmental labeling. So, what's environmental labeling? So, it involves providing consumers with information on the environmental impact of products they purchase. To calculate the environmental score of a product, suitable methodologies are selected. PEFtrust, for instance, follows the European Product Environmental Footprint methodology, which is based on the same standards of the LCA, ISO 13040 and 13044. So, the PEF score is calculated using methodological references such as PEFCR Apparel and Footwear version 1.3 and the associated EF 3.1 database. The calculation considers various environmental impacts and uses the EF 3.0 method. This method allows for the comparison of a product's environmental performance with a benchmark representing the average performance in the European market. The PEFCR Apparel and Footwear version 1.3 is a methodology developed by the European Commission (JRC). It specifies the life cycle stages, inputs and outputs, and other relevant factors to evaluate the environmental impact of apparel and footwear products. This methodology ensures consistency and limits the potential flexibility in the LCA results. Now, the PEFCR version 1.3 includes certain representative products called RP, specifically selected for clothing and shoes. These representative products serve as benchmarks to compare the environmental performance of similar products, and the representative product list may evolve as new data and advancements become available. The EF 3.1 database contains generic data required for calculating environmental impacts. It includes, for instance, data on materials, processes, transport, and end-of-life treatments. The EF midpoint indicator 3.1 method is used on this data to calculate 16 environmental impacts, which are then aggregated into one single score. So now that we've obtained the product's PEF score and a reference product for comparison, we can calculate and display its final Ecoscore. How this conversation takes place. The PEF score is initially displayed in micropoint units, which might be overwhelming for consumers. To enhance comparison, we convert the scores to power of 10 and scale them down to a 100-point system. This makes the result visually easier for consumers to understand. Next, we bring back the PEF score to a scale ranging from 0 to 100%. The reference value for comparison is set at 50%, where 0% represents the best possible score. The product score is then compared to the score of the associated reference product. The 15% value serves as a reference point. If the product score is higher than the reference score, it indicates a less favorable environmental performance. Conversely, if the product score is lower than the reference score, it signifies a more positive environmental performance. Finally, we convert the numeric score ranging from 0 to 100 into a letter grade ranging from A to E. The letter grade system allows for a quick and intuitive understanding of a product's environmental performance. An A grade represents the best score, while an E grade indicates the least favorable score. With the Ecoscore determined, it can now be effectively communicated to consumers. So our connected webject facilitates the seamless transfer of LCA results to your website, allowing you to choose the design for representing the results on your product page. This enables consumers to make informed decisions based on the product's environmental performance. Today, fashion brands strive to understand the environmental impact of their products, to take action, comply with regulations, and offer greater transparency to their consumers. PEFtrust is a B2B platform that has revolutionized the process of calculating a product's environmental footprint. Using this platform, fashion brands can perform a lifecycle analysis with just a few clicks and obtain the Ecoscore of the product along with a variety of indicators, enabling them to move towards eco-design and environmental compliance.